Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this Intro to Phet Interactive Simulations webinar session. We're super excited to have you join us. We're going to get started in a bit. We'll just allow for a minute or thereabout for everyone to settle in. And we'll be right on my way. We'll be right on the way. Thank you for joining. We're super excited to have you. And we look forward to connecting, learning from you, as well as sharing what we've put together for you today. It promises to be an exciting session. And we hope you find it as useful for your practice in classroom as well. Okay. Again, welcome everyone. My name is Shola Olateju, and I'm the Africa STEM specialist at the Phet Interactive Simulation Project at the University of Colorado Boulder. I'm currently connecting from Lagos, Nigeria. And of course, along with me, I have my other colleagues who are going to be working together today, and I'll allow them to introduce themselves. Godfrey and Seth again, over to you. Can you please introduce yourself?
Thank you so much, Shola. I'm Godfrey Odhiambo. I'm a teacher at Ukunda Secondary School at the coast of Kenya. I teach mathematics and physics, so I welcome you all. I'm also a Phet fellow. So, set again.
Okay,
good evening, everyone. Thank you, Sola and Godfrey. My name is Satanya Yaleo Bogale. I am from Ethiopia. I am a Phet Fellow of 2022 and currently teaching as a lecturer of physics at Ambo University in Ethiopia. And I hope you will find this session very interesting and a fruitful time you will have, I hope. So yeah, we will have a nice discussion time today. Thank you.
Okay. Again, thanks, Godfrey and Seth again. Thanks everyone again for joining. Sorry for
this mute, guys.
Okay. Apologies for the noise. Please, we encourage and advise that if you're not speaking as much as you can, please stay muted so that we can all have the most optimal experience during the 1 hour we have. So this session is going to run for 1 hour, and we always try to respect everyone's time. So we will not keep you any longer than that. And we're going to get right started into it. I'll allow Godfrey to get started. I know we're at different stages of our understanding, as in the question we want to get started with is, what is Phet? And we will also allow for a few more questions. So we'll get started with understanding why we are here today, why we're introducing Phet to you, how that can help you transform the teaching and learning of mathematics and science. And we'll talk about the course that we've also put together, how to connect. By now, we expect that everyone have received an email. If you haven't, or while this session is on, please check your email. You've received an invitation to join you should have received 3 emails to join the 3 different courses: an introduction to Phet, designing Phet activity, and then implementing and managing a Phet-based lesson. So we'll talk about how to get started, what to do to ensure you, of course, you're able to successfully complete and get value out of it. Of course, collaborating and using the discussion forum, the peer review, and what the expectations are for the course. And finally, we would allow for some minutes as well to take your questions and then answer all of them. So I will hand it over to Godfrey in a bit to get us started. Godfrey, if you go full screen, I don't know.
Yeah, Shola, some people are complaining they're not hearing. I don't know if the problem is, I think it is on their devices.
I would, do you hear me good?
Yeah, I hear you very well.
Okay, so I would encourage, if you can't hear, please just turn the volume of your phone, of your computer up, and hopefully that works. But then we'll find a way to see if there's anything we can do here as well. Yeah, just for clarity. Okay, I'll let Godfrey get us started, and we'll come back. But while we're at it, please, I see some of us are writing where we're connecting from, county and subject. Please feel free to write in the chat your name, what you teach, and the county or country you're joining from. And because we love we love to know you, and we all get a chance to share a little or know each other as the course progresses as well. So over to you, Godfrey, and you can take us through.
Thank you so much, Shola. I'm trying to share my screen. Yeah, I think it's now on. I think the screen is on.
Yes, we see your screen now.
But it's inactive.
Okay.
Let me check something.
I'm able to share for you if you want me to do that.
Yes, Mohammed, come in.
Godfrey, would you like me to share?
The problem was Mohammed was calling me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think now it's okay.
Okay, great. So over to
Let me
you.
see if my video is on. Let me change the video. Mohammed was calling me and now it has changed. Yeah, I'm now okay. Is my screen seen?
Yes, we see your screen. It's not full screen yet though, so you need to.
Could you make it on presentation mode?
Yeah, just switch to the presentation mode.
Yeah. Let me minimize some of this. Let me stop sharing and share again.
Okay. I'm able to share the slide for you if that helps.
Let me see if this will do. Yeah, you can share because mine is not active. It has accepted.
Are you good now?
Yes. Welcome everybody. I'm Godfrey Odhiambo, a Phet fellow from Kenya. So today we want to talk about how to enhance STEM learning through Phet interactive simulations and ICT integration. So Phet interactive simulation. So before we continue, I wish to welcome everybody on board and introduce the following team. So we have Rebecca Vieira, who is the director of our global initiatives, Phet, Colorado University. We have Zach Mbasu, who is a Phet ambassador and lead Africa, who is based in Kenya. We have Shola Olateju, who is the Africa STEM specialist. And Shola is with us here. So on the picture on the right, we have other Phet fellows. So we are 15 in Africa. And Mohammed and Setegen from Ethiopia. Mohammed from Gambia is with us. So we champion for quality STEM education in Africa and other countries. So on the chat box, you can introduce yourself by telling us who you are. You can share the subject you teach. You can also share a fact about yourself that you enjoy the most. You can also try to share what expectations you have. What do you expect to learn today in this 1 hour session? So the objectives of this session, one is to be able to know how to navigate the course in the Coursera platform. The next one is to be able to locate and interact with Phet simulations on the website and maybe on the app and on their phone, and to be able to navigate, to be able to create a sim-based lesson, a lesson that is based on the sim that are available on the Phet website. Then also to be able to implement a Phet simulation with your students. So maybe at the end of this, you should be able to know how to teach effectively using the Phet simulations. And also you should be able to find help and support using the Phet simulation. So we are here to guide you on how you can get help, on how you can navigate through the Phet website up to the end. So the next is a reflection on the picture. So there's a picture which is shown on the right. There's a picture shown on the left. So check on that picture and think about it. Compare the picture with the picture on the right. And maybe in 1 or 2 minutes, you can just unmute and share what do you say about these two pictures. So just unmute and share in 1 and 2 minutes, please. Anyone?
On the first picture.
Yes.
Hello, my name
Yes.
is Amina. My name is Amina. On the first picture, I can see teaching using the normal blackboard. I can see students hearing, and there is drawing on the board. But on the second one, I can see almost like 3D, and it looks like it is so real. It's like the person has come out of the screen, and I can see a student who is manipulating. It's like they have removed the intestines and they are holding them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amina. So anybody else who can share an insight on maybe your observation on what you are seeing?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm Caleb Masinde from Bungoma County. On the picture on the left, it is a teacher-centered one, where the teacher is explaining to the student what is happening. But on the right, it is student-centered. The students are the ones doing them. You can see how they are mesmerized, those are standing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm also seeing the students are wowed. They're wondering, learning can also be this interesting. The ones on the left, they are absorbing the knowledge. They are absorbing the abstract. I'm seeing is a physics class. There's a transformer in between on the board. So I believe the students on the right are happy, and they are enjoying that class. So thank you so much. On this diagram, I think this is the most reason why we are here. We are here to make our classes to be more interesting, more interactive, more engaging to the learners, so that the learners can enjoy learning STEM as the teachers enjoy teaching STEM. Now, in the next, we want to look at what Phet interactive simulations are. Now, Phet interactive simulations were founded by Carl Wieman, who is a professor in physics. So Carl Wieman won a Nobel Peace Prize in Physics in 2001, and all the proceeds he received from this Nobel Peace Prize he won, he championed it. He directed that proceed to creating to this project, to the Phet interactive simulations, to make learning of STEM more engaging, more interactive, and more enjoyable to the students. So the goal of Phet is to make STEM learning more engaging, so interactive, so the learners discover new ideas, so it makes STEM more relevant. So the STEM is connected, the simulations are connected to everyday life experiences. So when you interact with the simulations, you realize that most of the simulations use objects or materials which are already available in the environment. So also they make STEM more accessible. So each learner, whether the learner has an apparatus or no apparatus, the learner can be able to enjoy STEM and also have a lab-like environment. Now, currently in Kenya, we have teachers who are teaching in JSS, that is a junior secondary school. I believe the teachers there are wondering how will they carry out experiments, yet we don't have laboratories in primary schools. And that is a challenge they have. So these teachers can utilize the Phet interactive simulations. So provided there is a tablet, there is a computer, maybe there is a phone, so the teacher can carry out experiments effortlessly. Also, the goal of Phet is to make STEM more effective. So we use STEM practice and develop understanding. We have 21st century teaching and learning pedagogies, which are very beneficial in teaching STEM in our schools. So STEM is made personalized such a way that students can engage with the content individually without the guidance of the teacher. So the end result is to make learning STEM more like doing STEM. So Mohammed, is Mohammed around? Mohammed?
Yeah, I can take that.
Okay, thank you. So Shola, you can take us through the next few slides on the Phet website.
Okay,
up
great.
to where the website ends. Thank you so much, Shola. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. If you don't mind, if you stop sharing, I can share my screen here. Okay, great. Thanks, Godfrey. Do you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, great. Again, thanks everyone. We're super excited to have you here, and we hope you are as excited at the end of this session as we are about sharing about this amazing project with you. So, just like Godfrey said, Phet is a collection of interactive science simulations that helps or supports the effective teaching of physics, chemistry, mathematics, earth science, and biology. So it means we'll get to look at one or two of them in a bit, even before the breakout. You will find resources that will support the teaching of all of these subjects. And it was founded, it's 20 years old, and at the moment there are up to 161 sims across these 5 subjects that I've explained. It's available in 114 languages, including Swahili, and there are also teacher-submitted activities that you would also learn about. So to go to the Phet website or to find out what Phet, the first thing is, and the easiest way is to go to Google. Once you are at Google or any of the search engine, if you type Phet into it, it takes you directly to the website. The website is phet.colorado.edu, phet.colorado.edu. If you look at the chat now, I'm going to drop that in the chat for you. Everyone, just to meet you. Yeah, so it's in the chat. You can try follow along. Once you're on the site, like I mentioned, you'll find all of the information. But the fast and easiest way to get started, since you're just figuring this out, is to come to simulations right away. If you come to the navigation at the top and click on all simulations, you will then find the entire list of simulations you have accessible to you. All of the simulations are freely accessible, and of course, you do not have to create an account. There are benefits to creating an account. I'll mention that in a bit. As you can see, at least all 103, you'd see 103 here instead of 161 that I mentioned. So it means there are about 103 at the moment that can run on your mobile device. If you have a phone, if you have a tablet, if you have a computer, you do not have to install additional software or do any other things to make that accessible and work. So you just click on it and you're good to go. So which is why you see 103 here. And to your left, which is the fastest way to get started, you can sort by subject. You can decide, oh, I only want to see physics-related sim alone, or sub by the subtopics within the particular subject that you teach. You also have the opportunity to sort by grade level if you teach at elementary, middle, high school, or university. What simulation what's concept. You would notice that a particular simulation can teach different concepts at the different grade level. A sim can have different pages or different views that scaffolds or with increasing level of difficulty expose students to different concepts. So it's important that once you've established your learning goal, you look at which of the sim, one or times multiple sims can support the achievement of your goal. You notice HTML5 is what is recommended now because it works on all devices. There are a few more Flash and Java that are kind of old technology, so you can leave that for now. And locale, if you teach in a rural part of the country, you have the chance to then find the sim in Swahili as well. You can download and then use them. So look at one of them quickly. We found out how to find the website. You go to Google and type Phet, or just go into your address bar and go to the site directly, phet.colorado.edu. Once you're on the page, go to the simulations page at the top, and you can then search by subject. I will show you energy. I'll just show you this quickly as an example, then we'll come back to how to download and find the sims to use them offline. So once you choose a particular sim, you have additional information that is specific to that sim. You can find the topic that particular sim supports, like this one around density can support the teaching of Archimedes' principle, the concept of volume, density, and mass. And these are sample goals that can help you, of course, get started, or you can also compare to what you've designed, or what you're trying to achieve. And a couple of other technology-related information, which you don't have to prioritize or focus on for now. There are also related sims that tells you, these are the other sims that can teach things around pressure, around density and volume. So it's worth taking a look at them as well. Another important information you have is the teaching resource. And this is where it gets interesting for you as teachers. So here you can find curriculum alignment documents that perhaps have been created for different countries. In this, there's just two for English and Spanish. If it's available for your country, you'll find it here. If it's not, of course, it's not available. But if you look at here, you can see sign in to view content. So while you can use this sim without creating an account, if you create an account as an educator by coming to the top right corner here, you will have access to what we call the teacher tip. The teacher tips provides information about, I'm signing in, I have an account already, so I just signed in quickly. You'll remember before night, it was blurry and then you have to sign in first. Once you have an account, it shows you information about how the sim was designed, what the different views or the screens of the sim does, as well as other things that can help you effectively use them, how the controls work and all the other things. So we recommend that as educators, you create a teacher account. For students, all of these things are, apologies. Please, if you are not talking, please stay muted. Thank you. So if you have an account, again, this is accessible to you as a teacher, so that this is only for you. Students do not need to look at this. And once you are there, there are activity sheets as well, where you can find activities other teachers have created that you can adapt, either create your own and contribute, or get started from where someone else has created and then adapt for your use case. There are two more things I want to show. I spoke about translations briefly, but we'll talk about that. If you come to the end of the page, you'd find offline access. I'm going to wrap up in another 3 minutes. So if you visit the website and you go to the end of the page, you find this list of options. If you click offline access, then you have the access to download an app that you can either put on your flash drive or on a CD, or just download directly. If you have internet in your school, install, and you have access to all of these things, whether it's on a Windows or a Mac OS. You are also able to download the sims. Instead of the entire bundle, you can download them one at a time by clicking on this down arrow. I'll show you that briefly, and then you have the option to also download there's an app, or you can also access them on the phone. To download them as individual apps, if you look at the just beneath the title here, the first icon is this down pointing arrow that says download. So once you click on this, it saves on your computer or on your PC, and you can use it without connecting to the internet. So if you download and you share with anyone, of course, they do not need to, it runs perfectly offline, and you do not need connectivity to use them. You only need to get it, either download yourself using the internet, or someone who downloads on your behalf, send it across to you, and you can continue to use. Finally, I'll just show how to get started creating an account, and I'll hand it back over to Godfrey. So to create an account, you come to the top right corner, this humanoid looking icon. Once you click on it, it gives you the option to register. Click on register, you complete some basic forms or information, and you will have an account. Then you have access to the teacher tips and all other, of course, get updates and email from the team, as well other teacher benefits as they become available. I know you might have questions, but I'll hand it over to Godfrey now to touch on a few other things. Please take note of your questions. We've saved some minutes after the presentation to address all the questions. So we will not take your questions at this time. So please take note of all the questions. Do not lose them. We will take them just after Godfrey's presentation. Thank you. Over to you, Godfrey.
Thank you so much, Shola. So also have to remind them that the account creation is free. You don't pay anything. You access the resources that other teachers have used. Now, the next one I want to share with you a theme that we need to look at for about 2 to 3 minutes. So the theme is about gas properties. The theme on gas properties for 2 minutes. So let us look at this gas properties for 2 minutes. So let me see if I can drop the link on the chat box. Yeah, so the link's on the chat box. So please let us follow the link and go into the theme for about 2 to 3 minutes. When we come back, we'll share our findings.
Can you repost to the chat? It's not in the chat yet, Godfrey.
Yeah.
Be sure you send to everyone, not a particular, not just one person.
Let me check if it has gone to everyone. No. Where is it? Okay, let me check. Yeah, it is now okay. It has gone to everyone. Yeah, so you can follow the link. Follow the link and play with the theme for about 2 minutes. Follow the link and play with the theme for 2 minutes, so that when we come back, we share a few ideas. So I hope you are sharing. You are maybe playing with the theme for 2 minutes. Shall I keep for me the time? If 2 minutes are over or 3 minutes, we can come back.
So which part do we go to? We have ideal, we have explore, energy diffusion.
Any part of the sim.
Just explore and try and make sense of what you see. What do you think is happening? Can you make sense of it, or what do you notice in using the tool or the microscientific concept it's trying to help visualize or bring to life? Okay, Godfrey, we're at time. I think we need
Okay,
to
thank you. So we are now sharing on our observations.
Godfrey, you need to look at your slide again. You're sharing your presenter view, so you might need to stop sharing your slide and then reshare.
Okay.
Great, we see it now.
Yeah. So let us share. So you can raise your hand, your digital hand. So then you share what your observations are. So Edina Kisache, you can just unmute and share what observations you've made. Edina. Or anyone else who have something to share on this sim.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yes, Caleb.
I'm using a laptop. I don't know how to share. I'm using a phone and a laptop at the same time.
Okay, but you can just talk us through it. Did you explore the sim? What did you notice from using the sim?
I use that for diffusion. Huh?
Yeah.
But I can see some blue and red, whatever. But now diffusion moving into the other one is where the problem is.
Okay, great. Thank you, Caleb. We have Annette. Annette, please unmute because of our time, so we can move a bit faster. Phineas will come back to you in a bit. Anias, please unmute.
Okay, what I've observed about the sim, there were the light particles and the heavy particles. The heavy particles were moving very slowly, but the light particles, their motion was a little bit faster. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks, Annette. We have Nicholas Phineas. Please unmute and share, and we'll take Nicholas just before we go ahead.
Right, thank you very much. My observation is that I was able to manipulate the simulation easily and get the results. Like when I had the increase in temperature, the particles were able to move faster. So it's something that can be used to be able to show the students change in conditions and what is happening. So it was very real time and practical. Thank you.
Okay, great. We can't take all the questions. We'll take one more. Apologies, Musili and Arapto. I'm sure I know lots of people have feedback, but let's take Phineas now. If you just hold the further comments till towards the end, we want to be sure that we've talked about the most important things, and then we will come back and take all the questions.
Thank you so much, Shola. Now, if you have maybe any observations, you can put it on the chat box. So it is encouraged that when teaching using simulations, the best way is use challenge prompts. So challenge prompts are open-ended questions that make the students to think critically and also make the students to have different answers to the same question. And almost all these answers are always correct. So examples of challenge prompts that can be used with the sim that you have just seen is maybe you can ask a student that when you increase the temperature, what will happen to the motion of the particles? So that's an example of challenge prompt. Another one is maybe when you reduce the volume of the container, what will happen to the particles? So we use challenge prompts. So examples of other challenge prompts that somebody can use in teaching is find all the ways to increase the force of gravity. What's the largest dipole moment you can make? Create an atom with a net charge of 0. How can increase or decrease in current affect maybe resistance? Develop a procedure for measuring speed of a wave. So these are other challenge prompts, and these challenge prompts have different answers. So the students have a range of answers which are always positive and always correct. Now, let me share with you the benefits of using Phet simulations. So they support active learning. They make learning visual. They are interactive. They are cost effective. So they are cheap. So the only thing you need to have is maybe a projector, a tablet, and a laptop. They are also connected to real world situations where the sims make the students to maybe apply the knowledge that they can maybe they relate what they have been meeting in everyday life to the classroom environment. So the students are guided the students guide themselves without being guided by the teacher. Now, currently we are looking at the Phet sims and inquiry-based learning. So inquiry-based learning, we have 5 E's. We have engage, where the teacher engages the learners with a problem or a question. So you can ask the students a question that make them connect to what he is going to learn. So Phet simulations will aid in this field. We have explore, so learners explore the sim individually or in groups. The learners explore the sim individually or in groups, in small groups. So we have explain, so as a class or through presentation, discussion, where the students discuss the observations that they have encountered. The students discuss what they have seen in the sim. We have elaboration, where the students test hypotheses and make predictions with the simulations. So we have evaluation, where the students can evaluate their findings. They share their conclusions in a class, either through presentation or in any other way. So the next connection with the Phet simulations is simulations and so the Phet simulations and the competency-based curriculum. So simulations help in critical thinking. So learners can think about the cause and effects and test hypotheses using the Phet sims. Simulations also encourage collaboration and communication, where learners work in groups to make findings using the Phet simulations. Simulations also encourage digital literacy. So learners interact with different digital interfaces that are available in Phet simulations. Phet simulations also encourage and inculcate creativity in the learners, making the learners more innovative. And also the learners can come up with different approaches of solving problems in the society. Simulations are self-directed, so the learners can be able to work alone. That is a self-regulation. Now, the evidence of teaching with sim, so it has been observed by somebody who carried out research in Malawi on teaching without sim and teaching with the sim. And from the blue part of the graph, that is the control part, where the performance of the learners were lower than the gray part, the orange part. So the orange part of the graph has shown that when sim are used, the performance in the subject or the concepts that are being taught in the class is higher. So this one directly makes the students to use. So we are encouraging the teachers. So let us engage with sim. Let us make learning more interactive. So this one can improve. Now, there's a time I was teaching in a school in 2017, and compared to the previous years where I was not using the sim, the gender gap in my class was very great. So I had one girl, 13 boys in the class of physics, maybe 2 girls, 11 boys. But immediately I started using the sim, the number of girls to boys increased tremendously. And last year I had approximately about 45 students who enrolled for the physics class, and the number of girls were also very high. And this is thanks to the sim. Now, if you look at the sim that's on the left, that sim has some colors which are also very interactive. They make the girl child to maybe want to use this sim. So the color coding that has been used in the sim make the girls to identify with the sim. So when you teach using the simulations, the learning become more interesting, and the gender gap that we have in STEM is narrowed down. So that is what I observed when you're using the sim. So the sim are flexible. So the teachers can decide to use, maybe you can use lecture method, which is the ILD, that is interactive lecture demonstration. The teacher can teach distance learning. The teacher can involve the students in an activity in the laboratory. In the first diagram, they are written pre-lab. In the pre-lab, those students, they don't participate in anything. Now, let me welcome Phet again to give us an overview on the teaching pedagogies that are used in the sim. So Phet again, are you around?
Thank you, Godfrey. Yeah, I am around actually, but
can I share or I drop?
Okay, you can also stop sharing if you want, but I can just talk about, okay. So you have also the slides, which is about interactive lecture demonstration. We have the concept methods. We have also, more engaging kind of pedagogies that can be implemented in the class while teaching STEM subjects, particularly for mathematics and science subjects. We do have, different active learning methods like the interactive lecture demonstration. So in teaching these STEM subjects, what's really important is we need to engage the learners in the teaching learning process. So unlike to the traditional techniques that we have been, passed through, for example, in the past learning times, the teaching learning process these days is very different from that of the previous time. So it's really important to implement the ILD technique like the interactive lecture demonstration. The teacher will have a limited role in the process of teaching, and the students can also, take a significant part in the learning teaching process. In the concepts method also, the teacher, can give an idea or, a kind of question for the students so that before demonstrating the ideas, the students can, before demonstrating the simulations, the students might, give suggestions on what they have previously about the topic. And then after that, a demonstration can follow, and then a discussion will be useful to us to have a concrete idea about the topic. So many kinds of active learning methods can be used by engaging and making the students to be active in the teaching learning process, and by using the Phet simulations. So this is what I have. And regarding what I have observed, for example, in my experience in teaching in my classes, I really found Phet to be very helpful. Like it simplifies abstract science concept. It also helps the lab activities we performed here in the university, for example, because we have limitations of lab equipments. And most of all, I faithfully learned that the students are really motivated while learning physics when using the Phet simulations than a traditional lecture. So thank you, Godfrey, and that's what I have.
Thank you so much, Phet again. So next, Shola, can we go into breakout rooms? Or because of time, we can...
Yeah, because of time, we would have to skip that. What we will do is we'll go over to share the course that has been put together we just have an hour, so we would skip that and allow for people who want to stay back beyond the 1 hour to go into breakout, and then we'll drive those conversations then. So I'll talk about
that's okay, sure.
I'll talk about the course on Coursera now, and then show you through how you can connect to continue learning about this amazing.
Can I drop?
Yes, please go ahead.
Sharing?
Yes. Okay. I'll share my screen now and just get started. Do you see my screen now? Do you see my screen, Godfrey?
Yes, we can see your screen, Sola.
Okay, great. Thanks, everyone. We're particularly conscious about time. And just for clarity's sake, we will be sure to finish on top of the hour, but we will not leave as a team until your questions have been answered too. So if you have questions and you are willing to stay beyond the hour mark, please feel free to stay behind. The members of the team will be available to answer questions you have, but we'll be sure to cover as much as we want before the top of the hour. As at now, everybody has received an invitation similar to what I'm sharing on the screen to join the group on what, so this is a particular cohort, everyone represented and a few people who are unable to join, but will be connecting or seeing the video, the recording after this time, are working together in a particular group. So please, if you have access now, please look at your email. You must have received 3 emails to join 3 different courses, and one of them is the Intro to Phet. The other is, so it's a workshop. The other is activity design, and then the third is implementation of Phet activities. So please look through your email. It has a similar title: Join Kenya STEM Teacher Match in Intro to Phet, in activity design, and in implementation in class. As in, if you have, then I would advise that you click on the join group. Once you click on that, if you have questions or you've not received it, please feel free to drop in the chat, and Godfrey and Setigen will be happy to provide the necessary support. If you have received it, which I expect everyone should have, this is what once you click on that, this is what it looks like. I'm signed in. If you're not signed in, you might be required to create an account if you do not have an existing Coursera account. So please feel free to create an account, accept the invitation. And once the invitation has been accepted, you are able to access the course. And just for clarity, while that is opening, like I mentioned, there are 3 courses. And what we did in the last 40-50 minutes is to introduce you to Phet. It's such a little time to talk about all that is possible. So the first course is going to, in similar vein, touch on some of the things that we've mentioned today and a whole lot more. So you learn about what makes Phet simulations unique, how to find simulations relevant to your class or subject or the outcomes you intend to achieve, and then how to design your first Phet activity. And that we expect you can get done in about 12 hours or less. That's like the estimated down. So in about a week or 2 max, we expect that you are able to complete the first course and go on to the next course. Remember, you received 3 invitations. The first is the Intro to Phet workshop. The second one is the activity design. That, of course, that's the point you then start to better understand some of the pedagogies or the strategies that Godfrey and Setigen mentioned, from interactive lecture demonstration to concept questions, of course, how to reflect on inquiry learning and education, how Phet can support the student-centered approach and ensure your students are at the center of learning, how to develop strategy for writing Phet sim-based inquiry activities and designing your Phet-based activities. So that's the core of the second course. And the third course then teaches specifically, having understood what Pheting is, you now understand how to design activities to support the objectives or achieving the goals you have for your class or your lesson, how to then implement a sim-based lesson in your classroom. So you become familiar with all of the strategies that has proven effective. So we'll take you through all of those strategies using a sim-based activity. You will endeavor to implement one in your classroom, and then, of course, reflect and collaborate with other members of the group as well to share their ideas. So this is what the course would look like once you've joined. as it is, like in 2 weeks, like I mentioned, you can be done. Some of them are videos, some of them are short text. We encourage that you go through it at your pace and time, which is why it's on Coursera, so you can find and take advantage of your availability or time that you are free from work or weekends to put in the time to get it done. So you, of course, complete the survey, understand the goals for this particular course, get introduced to Phet team, of course, storing the website, accessing it offline, exploring themes based on your particular subject. You're going to play with a theme. That's also important. You get introduced to the active learning strategies, and in brief, then of course, how to integrate, how to connect with the scene, how to embed Phet themes into a PowerPoint that you use, how to embed it into your Google Classroom based on OneNote, whatever tool that you're using for how Phet team supports that. Also sharing Phet team, either via USB sticks, online, whatever approach works. And one important part of it is the peer review assignment, which is due in a month's time. So we encourage that you please contribute and ensure that you do this. It's important to be able to complete all of the courses, and of course, get certified at the end of the day. So this is due at the end of. This is we'll need to check this. This looks like April 2nd. We'll clarify this, but you have time to complete this. But we encourage that you do that. Another important thing I wanted to mention is, if you look at the site, you'll find the discussion forum. The discussion forum is also where you can connect and get responses to questions you'd have. So if you have questions, if you have an amazing reflection or idea you'd like to share, we invite you to post in the discussion forum, of course, to get other members of the group, of course, to react and respond to your question, as well as members of the team, to provide the necessary support that you have. So again, this is one of the courses, the Intro to Phet workshop. You must have received an email similar to this, 3 of them. One is about the introduction, the second is about designing activities, and the third is about implementing. Once you click on join, you'll be brought to this, and this is what the environment looks like. Just go through the activity, complete the reflection and the peer review assignments in time. And most importantly, we have between now and the last day in May, so we have the entirety of April and May to be able to complete the 3 courses. So my recommendation is, for the first course, you can complete that in a week. I'm definitely sure. So once you are done, complete the first one and move on to the second one in the particular order. So the first, again, is the introduction, the second is activity design, and the third is implementation. Once you understand how to design activities to support the objectives you have in your classroom. One other important thing I want to say is, we'll open the floor for questions now, and Godfrey has just posted a link to the WhatsApp community that we have. So again, alongside using the discussion forum, you can also get instant response. So if you're not part of the community on WhatsApp, I invite and encourage you to join right away. Look at the link in the chat, but you would also get it via email after this call, after this session. So we invite you to join so that you can get instant support and also connect with the wider members of the current cohort and other cohorts. So we'll open the floor for questions. We have about 4 minutes before the top of the hour. Remember, like I said, we've had to run through this quickly. I know you have questions, so we will stay back. But if you have to leave on top of the hour, just as agreed, please feel free to jump off. But members of the team will stay back, and we'll be happy to answer and stay back as much as we can to answer all the questions you might have. I think I'll just show this quickly in another minute. This is what the this is the third course. This is the implementation course, estimated 2 weeks as well. You should be able to get that done. But the second course, which is activity design, is about within 3 to 4 weeks. So the first course between 1 to 2 weeks, you can get that done. The second course between 2 to 4 weeks or 2 to 3 weeks, you should be able to get that done. And the last is another 1 to 2 weeks. So in cumulatively, in about 8 weeks, we expect that you are able to get this done, completed. And then, of course, you can become super users of Phet and also be able to share with your community widely. This has the peer review activities as well. So we'll pause here and then allow for questions. So if you have questions, please feel free to raise your virtual hand, and we'll be happy to address them. On top of the hour, if you have to leave, please feel free. If you want to join the group, please use the link and just connect directly. You would also receive the link by email after the session. Please, Masinde, please unmute and share. Masinde, you have a question? While we're waiting, Nicholas, yes, please unmute and ask your question.
Yes. How long will this course take?
So estimated, so you take it at your pace and time. Just like I said, estimated time we've considered is the first one should take you about 12 hours based on like the average time it takes, it will take you, you can complete it in less time. So in 2 weeks, I'm sure you can complete the first course in a week, but to allow people who might take all the time, we've allocated about 2 weeks to complete the first course, about 3 to 4 weeks, the second course, then another 2 weeks to complete the third. But between now and the end of May, we expect that you would have gone through all of the courses. But the advantage you have with Coursera is you can take it at your pace and time. Everyone is moving at their own pace, and we're not holding anyone back. As in, once you're available, you can put in the time, make progress on the course, ask questions in the WhatsApp group, or connect with, use the discussion forum in Coursera as well to get support or get questions you might have answered. Okay, Masika Edward, please unmute and ask.
Okay, thank you. This is Masika Edward calling from Vega High School. I'm sorry, wherever I am, there's a challenge of network. So there is this thing, just a clarification, SIM. What is the meaning of SIM? SIM.
So SIM is short form for simulations. So what this tool is, it simulates science phenomenon or science experience so that students are able to control the variables and then see the cause and effect of the actions they take.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
I'll show you, I think that's one thing I should quickly show while we are taking questions. Thank you, Masika, for your questions. Joseph, please unmute. We've looked at one, and then we'll just look at a few other, maybe one for each subject, just before everyone leaves it. We're top of there already. Joseph, please ask your question.
Yeah, I was asking, are we going to pay for these courses?
No, you don't have to. You're not paying for the course. You're not paying for the course. The course is free. The SIM is always free. So there's no cost to it. You're not paying for anything.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I think we've taken Masika and Joseph. Glam, Liban, apologies if I did not get that right.
When is the time for the online classes?
So you should have received the invitation. You can get started right away. You should have received an invitation to join the course already via email. If you can check now, I encourage you to check. And then you can get started. I just showed you what that looks like. This is what the email is going to look like. It's join Kenya STEM teachers for March in introduction to Phet, or in designing a Phet activity or implementing Phet in your classroom. So you'd have received 3 such emails. Just join each of the groups and you can get started. I also encourage that you connect using the WhatsApp link, join the WhatsApp community that's been, I'm dropping that in the chat again, that was sent. And of course, we can continue the conversation there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Annette. Okay, sorry, that's Ngome Magali. Please unmute and ask. Ngome, are you there? Annette, please feel free to unmute and ask your question if you still have a question.
Yeah, my question is, at the end of this course training, are there to be any rewards?
No, by reward, what do you mean?
I mean, something like a certificate or, yeah.
Yes, I think I'll need to come, Godfrey, I expect the certificate is provided at the end of the course, right? Yes, that's my answer. I just need to confirm. Godfrey, are you there? Start again.
Yes, I think Sola. So by
Yes,
discussing
Shola.
with, I think by discussing with the Phet global team, so it is possible to certify the trainees.
Definitely.
Yes. For example, in our case, we arranged a training, a face-to-face training, of course. So after the training, we arranged also a certification program. So they will be certified anyway.
Definitely. I just want Godfrey to confirm based on the design of this particular course.
Yes.
So it will, at the end of this training, the certificates will immediately after the training, the teachers will be able to download a certificate from the Coursera, that is from University of Colorado Boulder. So I've seen Rita. Rita, welcome.
Oh, thank you. I've been here for all along. I just thought you had internet problems. So I wanted to answer Shola, but it's fine.
Okay.
Go on.
Okay, great. Welcome, Rita. Yes, so you will have access to you would have access to the certificate at the end of the program.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Annette. Daniel, we are past the hour mark. Just like I mentioned, thanks to everyone who has joined, and we'll stay back to answer all the questions, whatever time it takes us. But if you have to leave, we appreciate your time. My advice is please join the community, join the WhatsApp link. The link is in the chat. Join, and you can ask questions as you have them, so that you don't get through. But also look out for the email, the ones that has been sent, and the future ones that will be sent to members of this particular cohort. Another thing I wanted to say related to Annette's question is you will need to complete the 3 courses to get the certificate. So please, like I mentioned, we have about 8 weeks between now and the 31st of May to get it done week. I think that's enough time based on the estimated time we've seen from previous cohorts. Once you've completed the 3, then you will be eligible or you will qualify to receive the certificate. Over to you, Arab 2. Apologies if I got that wrong.
Thank you. Well, I have 2 questions. One, in 2020, I think I reused some of the animations from Phet, sorry. And I wanted to know, are there some copyright issues if I decide to reuse the Phet simulations, maybe to my other content? Number 2, you did say that Phet, I think, relied on funding from the founder, the guy who won the physics Nobel Prize. Now, I just want to know, currently, what is it in for you, especially if we continue using your site? Or what are your, other than maybe individual funding, what are your other sources, or what is it in for you when we keep using the site? Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks. I did the first question. Sorry, can you go over the first question again?
My first question was on issue of copyright.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes. So the themes are available made available under the Creative Commons license, CC-BY. So I'm not sure. So you just need to give attribution to the theme. That means you should not take off Phet in the name, but you can adapt and use the theme as you find fit at no cost. But you cannot use the logo. If you want to use the logo, then of course you'll need to get in touch with the partnership team and to talk as in to discuss. That's a separate conversation. In terms of what's in it for us from inception, the goal for the founder was to he was a teacher himself, and he struggled with teaching math, and he struggled with teaching physics. And once he was able to create one scene, he saw the transformation that brought to his class. And at the moment, the goal is the goal here at SIM is to improve the teaching and learning of math and science education across the world. And the SIM has proven effective. And we hope we can continue to support that. The SIM has always been free in the last 12, 20 years, and will always be free. So that's not going to change. Okay, over to you, David. David, the floor is yours. Okay, while David is trying to sort his mic out, I guess, Edison, we can take your question.
Okay, thank you. I've already logged into the email. I've registered for the 3 courses. However, there are certain interactive, there is some activities that cannot be supported by, let's say, a phone. It needs a computer. Then I also downloaded the Coursera app, and I don't know whether it's possible to work with that app without using a computer. Thank you.
Yes, I would say it's possible to work without a computer, but it's like having the limited screen size of a computer and a phone. The experience on the computer will be significantly different to your phone, but I would expect that you are still able to navigate. Once you've downloaded the app, the Coursera app on your phone, it means you're able to save the course and then use it offline in some cases as well. You can read the entire course and the video. You're also able to complete the activities on the phone, but the experience might not be optimal or might be suboptimal. So my advice is, if you have access to a PC, shuttle between both, use both of them. If you do not, then I would advise that should not discourage you. If you do not have a laptop, it should never be the reason why you cannot complete it. So make do with the phone and use whatever you have, and hopefully more opportunities will become available further down the line. Okay, over to you, Dio. Thank you for all the questions. Thank you to everyone who has stayed back. Again, we'll be happy to stay back till we answer all the questions you have. Dio, over to you. Dio, while we wait, we can take Rashid.
Yeah.
We can take you, Rashid.
Good evening. Okay, I'm
Good evening.
Rashid. My query is on creating the Phet account. I didn't get it right. So if you will spare some few minutes, repeat that part. Bit on creating an account and then opening the Coursera. That is the Coursera course. I also did get that one clearly. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. To create an account, like we mentioned, you go to PHET, and Phet was formerly Physics Education Technology. That's where Phet came from, but it's Phet as a word is what it is now, because it has since grown from physics to also include all the physical sciences. So once you go to the Phet website, phet.colorado.edu, you come to the top right corner where you have this humanoid icon. Once you click on the drop down, it gives you an option to register or sign in. I have an account, so mine is visible. So if I click on register, it comes at no cost, it's free. So it will ask you for certain information about, of course, as in your status as a teacher, your contact information. So I can choose a teacher, choose next, your email, your password, the name and country and all of that. And you have an account. Once you have an account, the first thing that allows you to do, like I mentioned earlier, is give you access to the teacher information, like information that is exclusively accessible to only teachers. I am currently not signed in. So if I come to the simulation page and I select a simulation, so again, simulation and sim are just different ways. The short form of simulation is sim. So you'd see us use that interchangeably quite often. If you come to the teaching resources, I explained this earlier on, it's still you sign in to view content. So this is one of the, alongside other benefits, this is one of the fastest way you find use for the teacher tip. So it's blurry, you can't see it, but the information at the back then gives you insight into how to make the most effective use of the sim, design consideration, some of the, everything you need to know is made available within the teacher tip. So I advise that you consider creating an account. And the second question is about the course. So like I said, emails have been sent out to 3 different courses: Intro to Phet, Designing Activities, and Implementing Phet in your classroom. This is what an example email looks like. What you should look for is join Kenya STEM Teachers Match, and the Intro to Phet, all of that is going to change based on the title of the course. Once you receive, click on join the group. Once you join the group, you find info as in something similar to what you see on the screen as this. It shows you the different, the outline for the course. You can navigate through it, complete the peer review activity at the end of the day. And you have between now and the end of May to get through the entire course. And once you successfully complete all 3, you will get a certificate. Okay, Glam, I thank you, Rashid, for your question. Glam, your hand is still raised. Do you still have a question? Okay, if...
Excuse me?
Yeah,
No, I don't have a question.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Obadiah,
Yes, I'm asking, when creating this Phet account, do we use the email that was provided or to register, or what do we do? I joined the late.
So you can use any of your email. You can use the one that was provided earlier on to join the course, but you are at liberty to choose the email. If you have multiple email, use the most functional email, the one that you constantly receive updates and announcements from. So if we have updates and announcements, use your most active email.
Okay.
Then Shola, I think it's also advisable so that they can use a Gmail account, Gmail.
Yes, if you have a Gmail, then you consider using Gmail as well.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Godfrey. Daniel.
I wanted to ask, what about the time zone? Do you have to change in the settings on Coursera account, because the region where I am, it is saying that the time zone is not compatible?
Yes, it is optional. It can help you stay in sync. It is optional. If it's not mandatory, you can change it so that the time is in sync, and any recommendation it's making is in sync with your reality in terms of where you're currently located.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, it looks like we've taken all the questions. Just before we start winding down, does anyone else have a question, feedback, comment? Okay, great. If there are no questions, we would like to thank you again for joining this session. Like, this is just the start, as in this is just the beginning. So first things first, my advice is join the WhatsApp community. That's the first place you can get questions or answers to whatever challenge you are facing. If you do not receive the email, post into the group. If you're struggling accessing it, post into the group. And members of the team definitely will be available and happy to guide you all through this journey. Once you are in the WhatsApp group, ensure you receive the invitation to join the 3 courses. If you have not received, or you're having troubles connecting, write to the group and post to us, write an email. Please ensure that you don't feel stranded. If you have any question and you're not receiving, there's no clarity, or you're not receiving help, then I would say it's from your end. As much as possible, we are available to provide all this necessary support and help you might need. So please take advantage of it. If you have questions, drop in the discussion in Coursera if you're part of it, or write in the chat. Use the discussion forum. It's usually helpful and engaging. You can have interesting ideas, and that can also help your learning experience. So use all of those features. Once you have in the group and you join the course, endeavor you stay on track, work at your pace, download the Coursera app if you can do that on your phone. But ensure you do not leave it for too long. Over the next 2 months, we expect you're able to cover it through, and we'll be right there at the end, sharing you up and then discussing the next steps after that. Personally, I would like to thank you once again for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure to spend the evening with you, and we look forward to learning and meeting, learning more, of course, going on this journey with you. I want it over to Godfrey, perhaps, and Setigen to just give your final words. Rita has to say their advice as well, and we'll call it a day. Nixon has a question.
Setigen, welcome.
Just a minute. Nixon has a question.
Oh, Nixon, yeah. Nixon, do you have a question?
When is the meeting going to be every Thursday, or what is the program?
No, we do not have a synchronous meeting like this again scheduled. If there's a need, we would announce that. But for now, the advice is use the WhatsApp group and use the discussion feature there on Slack